So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and this is the updated guide for farming focus. So, I did some testing. I didn't do too much testing to be honest, but I did enough to figure out what's the best way of farming focus. Now if you don't know what's going on, the way you farm focus has been changed very slightly. You still equip lenses on either warframes or weapons and kill enemies. But every now and then a power-up will appear on the map, which is indicated by a yellow focus sign right there. And if you pick it up, you will get a buff that increases the amount of focus you get for 45 seconds. Now, it looks like that if you ignore it for long enough, it will disappear and you have to wait for another power-up, but I'm not sure about this one. So what I did is I basically took the most likely candidates that were really good for farming focus before the change, and I've tested them out. So I started out by doing Radial Javelin Excalibur on Draco. And at first I stayed for just one round and I did 3 separate runs and I had a greater lens on Excalibur and Ignis. And the strategy that I've adopted, because this was just a pubby run without EV Trinity or Frost and stuff like that, was pretty simple. I was just running around killing dudes with my Ignis, and when I picked up a power-up I tried to get off as many Radial Javelins as possible. And here are the results. So on average, these runs took 4 minutes and 51 seconds, and the first run was with Ash, Rhino and Mag, and I got 3,282 focus on Excalibur and 1,432 focus on Ignis. The second run was with Ivara, Chroma and Frost, and I got 3,865 focus on Excalibur and 1,590 focus on Ignis. And the third and final run was with Sarin, Rhino and Excalibur, and I got 3,443 focus on Excalibur and 1,252 focus on Ignis. And I should also say that I was not running a booster, so if you just go there with Radial Javelin Excalibur, these are the kind of numbers you're gonna get. The second candidate, which is not very surprising, was Bladestorm Ash on Draco. Now the strategy with Bladestorm Ash is incredibly simple. You just spam Bladestorm, then you pick up a power-up and you spam more Bladestorm. And I once again had a greater lens on Ash and Ignis. So on average, these runs took 4 minutes and 47 seconds, and the first run was with Rhino, Frost and Valkyr, and I got 3,021 focus on Ash and 1,029 focus on Ignis. The second run was with another Ash, Nova and Frost, and I got 3,071 focus on Ash and 702 focus on Ignis. And the third and final round was once again with another Ash, Ember and Rhino, and I got 2,811 focus on Ash and 613 focus on Ignis. And once again, no affinity booster, so if you just take Bladestorm Ash and you go onto Draco, these are the kind of numbers you are gonna get. Now the numbers are slightly lower than with Radial Javelin Excalibur, and that's not surprising at all, because Bladestorm just doesn't kill enemies as fast as a Radial Javelin. And that's really all that matters when you pick up the power-up. Now after this I got myself Trinity Prime, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Narrowf, who's playing on Trinity Prime here. Thank you for helping me out with this. And I went back onto Radial Javelin Excalibur and I did 4 rounds on Draco. And I once again had a lens on Excalibur and Ignis. So after round 1, which took 5 minutes and 28 seconds, I had 7,541 focus on Excalibur and 601 focus on Ignis. After round 2, which was 11 minutes and 53 seconds, I had 14,631 focus on Excalibur and 1,025 focus on Ignis. After round 3, which took 17 minutes and 43 seconds, I had 22,154 focus on Excalibur and 1,621 focus on Ignis. And finally, after round 4, which took 25 minutes and 19 seconds, I had 29,525 focus on Excalibur and 2,233 focus on my Ignis. Now, that's pretty damn nice, isn't it? You know, this is without a booster, so if you get a booster, you're gonna get twice as much. However, the final test I did was stealth farming on Albedo on series with Loki and Redeemer. Now this is the way that I used to farm focus before it was changed. And the strategy here is pretty simple. You just run around and you chain stealth kills for as long as possible without finishing the mission. Once you've had enough, you just throw the data mass into the terminal and you leg it to the extraction. And the way I did the testing is I had a timer set for 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and once it went off I put the data mass into the terminal and I've legged it to the extraction. So the mission on average took 5 minutes and 8 seconds, and on the first run I had 5,171 focus on both Loki and the Redeemer, which is a total of 10,342 focus. On the second run, I had 7,291 focus on both Loki and the Redeemer, which is a total of 14,582 focus. And on the final run, I had 6,434 focus on both Loki and the Redeemer, which is a total of 12,868 focus. Now, as you can see, the numbers are pretty random. It goes from 10,000 to 14,500 per sort of 5-ish minutes. And it all depends on whether or not you're smart, because if you don't bump into enemies and you don't kill alerted enemies and you have your stealth multiplier running at 500%, when you pick up the power-up, you can get like 4,000 or 5,000 focus in that 45-second window. But if you screw it up and you don't have the multiplier running at 500% and you alert enemies, then you're gonna get sort of 1,000 or 2,000 max. And I'm gonna remind you once again that I am not running a booster here. So the conclusion here is pretty simple. Stealth farming is by far the fastest way of farming focus. Even if you compare it to spamming Radial Javelin on Draco for 4 rounds with Trinity Prime, it's still superior. Spamming Radial Javelin on Draco for 4 rounds, which takes about 25 minutes to complete, will yield you somewhere around 31,758 focus. And of course, your results may vary, so it may be slightly higher or slightly lower. But if you were to stealth farm on Albedo for the same amount of time, so 25 minutes, even if I take the lowest result that I got, you will still get around 51,710 focus. And that's it, so the best thing you can do is go into series and stealth farm the mission Albedo. And I thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!